Thank you so much for joining us here on Daytime. Derek Fage will be back, don't you worry, just filling in this week, a couple days this week for him as he enjoys some relaxation. I wanted to introduce you to Catarina van Es today, and she's with the Dementia Society of Ottawa and Renfrew County. Hello.
Hi, Sam.
You know how much I love this organization. You're doing such incredible work and sometimes on a shoestring. So let's talk a little bit about the Dementia Society, but I want you to define dementia for us because the word's thrown out a lot.
It is, and it's quite often confused with Alzheimer's.
Right.
And Alzheimer's is actually a type of dementia. So the word dementia is an umbrella term, which covers 100 different types of dementias.
Wow.
And Alzheimer's is the most common, and that's why people quite often confuse the words dementia and Alzheimer's.
And what's the mandate for the Dementia Society of Ottawa and Renfrew County? What's your mandate?
We really want to make sure that all people living with dementia and their caregivers can live full, well lives and continue to contribute in their communities.
I want to touch on something you've just said. So we know people with dementia, we want them to live full lives.
Yes.
The fact you've included their loved ones that are caring for them is where I want to stop for a second, because it is incredibly challenging on those that are caring for. In many ways, they've lost their network, their friends, their connections, because they're spending all this time caring for their loved one.
You're right, and that's why it's so important that we make sure that we also look after the caregivers, family and friends that are trying to make it through this journey of dementia.
And give us a sense of the impact, Catarina, for a second. Give us a sense of the numbers we're talking about.
So right now in Canada, there are over 500,000 people living with dementia. By 2050, that's going to be 1.7 million Canadians. If we take that to a regional level, there are over 24,000 people living with dementia in Ottawa and Renfrew County, and by 2050, that number will be 60,000. So that's going to have a huge impact on caregivers. It will have a huge impact on healthcare. It will have an impact on workplaces because we're seeing a higher incidence of young onset dementia. We're going to see our communities need to adopt. They need to evolve, they need to become more flexible, and they need to become much more willing to accept people living with dementia because they need to be able to stay home, and they want to stay home, and they want to contribute to their communities.
Are we ready for that as a region and as a country?
Well, Canada has a national dementia strategy, so at least it's on the radar. But we should be concerned by these numbers, and we should be taking action, much greater action. I'm just finishing work as a project manager for a project that the Dementia Society was fortunate enough to get from the Public Health Agency of Canada. It's a 2-year project where we focused on reducing the stigma associated with dementia. And the way we did that was through training, an awareness campaign, as well as education. So we've gone through Ottawa and Renfrew County, and we've delivered 2,370 people have taken our training. That includes people in businesses, people in service organizations, and then individuals. But we've just scratched the surface. There's so much work to be done, and I have to say it was so much easier to do the work in the county because it's small, smaller communities. We've moved into Ottawa. We've made some good progress in Ottawa. We've trained up the NAC, the Shaw Centre, the Art Gallery. We have Giant Tiger now. Their corporate offices have adopted a training program. So it's coming, but we've just scratched the surface, and there's so much we can do.
So if someone's watching right now and they want to get involved, how could they do that?
By volunteering. We are looking for volunteers. Because of the awareness campaigns that we've ran over the last 2 years, more people are aware of the Dementia Society, the services and programs that they offer, mostly free of charge. But for that, you need funding. You need fundraising. We do get some funds from the Ministry of Health. We also have a very robust fundraising campaign, but donations are down. And so we really need to look at increasing our donation pool so that we can continue to offer these programs.
And what does volunteering look like?
Well, it depends on how you volunteer. So we're looking for, we have a program called Making a Connection, where we pair university students with people who have dementia. And these university students will spend a couple of hours a week with the person living with dementia. It gives the caregiver a break. so that caregiver can maybe go get their hair cut, right, or do something.
So smart.
Not a lot of time. I actually had volunteers that did neighborhood walks for me. And delivered postcards to business owners telling them about the great dementia training that we had available. Lots of ways that volunteers can help out.
And you were talking about a citizen scientist. I'm not saying it right. Say it for
Citizen
me.
scientist.
Yes. Citizen scientist.
So part of the project is an evaluation. So, you know, when you get a grant, you have to evaluate whether you're having an impact. And one of the things that we've done is we've partnered with the University of Ottawa. They're running our evaluation program. They're looking for volunteers. So they're looking for people living with dementia, a caregiver, or anyone that has interest in dementia to see if they would like to become a citizen scientist. So what's a citizen scientist? It's someone that will work with an app on their phone. They'll go about their day-to-day activity in their community, but they'll do a report. So if you go to the grocery store, is the lighting okay? Is it too noisy? Can I find the washroom? Or if you're out in a park, are the pathways paved?
Wow, so smart.
Yeah.
You're doing some wonderful things there. And I know you've got a great team. Kate Holmes, of course. I've got a lot of love for Kate Holmes. Thank you so much, Catarina, for joining us today and sharing all about that. Catarina van Es joining us today from the Dementia Society of Ottawa and Renfrew County. I've got a few things to say, so come on back. Join us on Daytime.